Hello, everyone.
There's going to be a lot of that.
So thanks everyone for joining us. We're just sort of watching the waiting room now and just admitting people in. Hoping we don't get Zoom bombed.
What's that mean?
It's when someone hacks your Zoom meeting and does something inappropriate.
Oh.
Yeah, there are other terms for what happens too, but we don't have to go into that.
Okay. That's another whole conversation.
That's a whole different cybersecurity conversation that I don't want to broach right now. No, let's talk about fun things like making things pretty and graphic design. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes to see if anyone else is joining, and then we will start. So I'm going to ask everyone to mute their audio unless you have something burning that you want to say. So it'd be, totally fine if you have something urgent that you want to say that has to do with the presentation or something that you would like explained. Totally jump in. But otherwise, just mute so that we're all not getting a ton of background noise. Yeah.
We got visitors. All right.
More minutes.
What time you got, Ash?
I have 11:01. What do you have?
I got 8:01.
Alex is joining us from San Diego, guys. So we need to thank her for being up super early because she's not a morning girl, especially on a Saturday. So
I wouldn't miss it for the world, Ashley.
Thanks, girl. Yeah, so super excited. Alex and I have collaborated on many projects together. And she actually introduced me to Canva. We were at, you did know, it was Deep's bachelorette party.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I was making a flyer for a local festival, and you were like,
what were you using?
I wasn't using Canva at the time, and you instructed me to use Canva. And
what were you using, though?
I was going to make it in Photoshop like I always did.
Oh, okay.
I was going to, make it a convoluted process of like, and
something that could have taken 4 minutes, you were going to take like an hour and a half trying to maneuver.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could enlighten you with Canva.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. And so that was like, when did she, how long ago was that?
That was early or fall 2018, I think.
Yeah, so I've been pretty much designing for clients exclusively on Canva since then.
Yeah. We got another San Diegan in the room, so I'm not the only one. Right on. Welcome. She's all like, I've been up for hours.
Nan's got a great website that I want to talk to you about because I think you'll have great insight on it. I'm working on her site. It's really exciting what she's doing. So
cool. What industry?
A very niche wellness practice, and it is what's needed, and it's super cool. And if Nan wants to share, she totally can.
Yeah, unmute. Let's hear about it.
Nan, if you want to.
All right, unmute. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
First of all, I am super, super happy that I found Ashley. It was literally like the universe type of thing. So that was bizarre, but
How did you guys
so
meet?
happy. So basically, actually, there's a few peeps from my school here that I invited.
Hey, thanks.
We are
Awesome.
just wrapping up our course to be certified cannabis wellness coaches.
Oh,
So we're doing that kind of,
okay.
helping people to navigate the whole world of cannabis as medicine,
Absolutely.
for healing, for just managing the symptoms that we're all dealing with. And being able to just be more present. So it's basically, just trying to get that whole vibe going and figure
Green
out the
Revolution.
direction. Huh?
The Green Revolution.
Yes. So, just like fighting the stigma, get things out there, become normalized, and just do some education and have fun with it, really.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super excited.
Yeah, and I can't wait to do some fun stuff with your website. So it's exciting. All right, so I'm going to start sharing the presentation, and we'll just get into our spiel.
Sounds good.
And if forgive me if I'm still admitting people after we just launch it, but it's all good.
Yep. Tucker agrees.
All right, cool. All right. So welcome. My name is Ashley, as you guys know. I'm in Boston, and I'm joined with Alex, who is in San Diego. And we've worked together on multiple things, but our paths always seem to cross at fun times. And it's always nice when we can collaborate again, especially when we get to teach other people kind of tools and tricks. So I run a marketing firm for small businesses, and Alex runs a design firm of all, I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, so basically I just do freelance and social media marketing for small business entrepreneurs, those kinds of folks. I worked prior for digital media agencies out here. I worked on red carpet events like Screen Actors Guild Awards and iHeartRadio Awards, doing live coverage editing. So while the event is happening, we're editing live. So I just have been working in the design field for probably like over a decade now. Professionally. So that's my background, design heavy.
So, I think one of the reasons that everyone's kind of here, it should be no surprise to anyone that this number of companies now advertise solely on social media globally. That's pretty significant. And the great thing is that Canva is, a resource that helps you basically harness your content and make it ready for social media. And there's a lot of things you can do on Canva that really give your content a professional touch.
And it's free. Let's just get that out there first and foremost. It's a free design tool. It's browser based. You make an account and then you log in online, and it contains all your media, everything, all your assets, photos, whatever, logos, branding, and you can create free content for your Pinterest, your Instagram, your Facebook, professionally and easy.
Yes. And it's cool because it's like it's almost like a filing system too of all of the content you've made. So it's really neat. It's a great place to store images for your branding. So right now we're just going to show you some sample designs made on Canva. This was made by Alex. I'll let Alex describe what it was for.
This is for one of my clients. They are an up-and-coming designer faucet company, but their whole thing is they sell quality, Moen Delta faucet styles, but at a fraction of those prices. And their whole like motif is this like luxury island vibe. So yeah, this was designed with their colors in mind and their targeted demo. This is called a media kit. So this type of content will go out to influencers or people that and brand ambassadors, people that they want to link up with and reach and target more to their communities.
This is also, yeah.
Yeah, this is so you can tell the vertical orientation of this piece. It was produced specifically with Pinterest in mind, which Pinterest, by the way, doesn't, with Instagram and Facebook, the reach can be disrupted by other people, like paid advertising. So your organic content that you just post that you didn't pay for to be spread out will get shadow banned. It'll get blocked unless your account is really popular. Whereas Pinterest, that doesn't happen. Pinterest will just disperse your content out to everyone, and you'll get a bigger reach and more eyes on whatever you're trying to showcase, whatever your brand is. That's a whole other conversation. I didn't mean to get it muddy.
No. But Pinterest is really important. I'm going to show a Pinterest design in a minute too.
So this is cool. This is like right up your guys' cannabis alley. This is for a client, Dinner at Mary's, and they do private dinners where it's CBD and THC dosed, but very minimally. And it's partnered with a like gourmet chef. I think his name is like Chef Nick or something like that. But yeah, these really like cool dinner parties in the Boston area. You have to sign up. It's like very private, and they're secret locations. They only release like the day of or like the day before or something like that. But yeah, if that's your jam, you'd be interested in checking them out. This is a menu I did for them, or invitation rather. I think the menu is on the other side. This is my cousin's daughter's first birthday party. I took this Care Bears image from Google Images or something, and then brought it into Canva, doctored it up a little, and we sent these invitations out. They were a hit.
This is a Pinterest graphic that I made on Canva. And then this is for the same campaign, an Instagram graphic that I made on Canva to show you how easy it is to literally keep your branding consistent throughout, your design usage. But yeah. So some things we're going to cover today are, starting a design, where to even begin, the many elements in Canva and how to use them, adding your content, editing your content, accessing your designs, the Canva app for your phone. We're going to get into some best practices, and then obviously leave time for Q&A. So we'd also love it if at any point in the presentation, if you'd like to see something live demonstrated or whatever, feel free to drop it in the chat section, and we'll be monitoring that. And if we don't see it as we're running through the presentation, we'll make sure we do it at the very beginning of the Q&As. So If there is something that you really want to see, don't be shy. Again, you can unmute. It's totally fine. We're geeks, so we would like love to show you how to do this. So, starting a design. So this, as Alex mentioned, Canva's free. So if you haven't already signed up for an account, sign up for an account. It's super easy. Yeah, I don't think we need to go into how to do it. You just really just apply an email. It's and you know, the free account is great. And
Did we mention it was free?
yeah, I know, right? We can't keep harping on that. So this is something I wanted to show you. When you open up Canva, you can basically find the correct sized template for any social media platform you need. You just have to search, and there's so many places to search for them. There's so many options to find the type of templates that you need specific to your content strategy. So if you're only posting on Instagram, then you should only be sizing your images for Instagram and Instagram stories. And that's the same for your videos as well. So yeah, it's really important to pay attention to the dimensions of the platform you're primarily working with. So templates. The cool thing about Canva is that there are a ton of templates on there, and you can pick something that you like the layout of and then kind of make it your own. And, you know, we'll get back into that, into the best practices section. But honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't shy away from starting with a template that's pre-made and then customizing it to make it your own. And then if you feel so inclined, you know, get a little crazy with it. Let your freak flag fly, you know, if you're feeling comfortable on the platform. But if not, use the template to its advantage. As long as it's true and it looks authentic for your branding, it feels authentic for you, and you feel proud to promote that, who cares? You don't always have to reinvent the wheel, and that's one of the cool things about Canva.
Should we, would anyone like to see me open up Canva and, okay.
All right, cool.
I'm just going to share my screen.
Yeah, I'm going to stop my share.
I think you might have to kick host over to me. Okay.
I think you should be able to share now. Yep, thank you.
Cool. So I'll go back home just to, so this is what it looks like when you've logged in. These are my past designs. They all will like show up down here. But I'm just going to go to create a design real quick. We'll go to Pinterest since we were talking about that. So automatically it's going to bring up a blank canvas. Over here are recently used templates. Down here are it's just giving me ideas. I can type in, this is going to be a food related. Okay, so cool. I like this one. All right, and it just pulls it up instantly as it is. So if I want to change, I want to use one of my own photos that I've uploaded recently. Maybe it's for the faucet company. I just clicked it, dragged it, it automatically set it into this frame. Now to change any of the text, it's just a double click and then type it in, click out. These texts are all separate text layers. You can grab them from over here, click and drag over. To change the font, it's up over here. And there you go. So that's just a quick create a new Pinterest. If I want to delete this, it's as simple as hitting the delete key. Sometimes with these picture frames, Ashley, we're going to get into frames later. So should I just hold off on that?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to kick it back to you and stop the share. Does anyone have any questions about creating, dragging and dropping, anything like that? Cool. All right. I will stop my share.
Okay. All right. So elements in Canva. Alex, we can both kind of talk about this. This is just, well, let me kick it back to that. Elements in Canva, basically. Canva provides you with a plethora of elements that you can use for your designs. And by elements, Alex, I think you described it best when you were saying it's like in ingredients. Do you want to expand upon that? Because I can't.
So the ingredients, so we're baking a cake, the cake being our piece of beautiful design content that we're going to shoot out to our community and our world. And elements are the ingredients. So photos, text, shapes, any piece of design content element that is going to be on your imagery. Those are the elements, and they're separate. They're independent of each other. You can group them together. You can layer them over each other, and it allows you to give, Canva allows you to give hierarchy to what should be in front of each other and what should be behind. So there's a layering system like that. You can group them together so that they all move at the same time. Like say, your top text and your subtext are always going to be one's over the other, and you want to move it to a different section of your element, but you don't want to move them separately. You want them to move together. You can group them together and move them. Photo grids, you can put a frame. Say you want a photo to be just a square. You don't want it to be the actual like full length of your photo. You can drag a photo square frame over and then place your photo in that, and it will crop it into the square. Or if it's a circle, drag a square image over and it'll crop it into a perfect circle. The photo grids are really fun to play with, and they are super easy. Just literally drag your photo over and it sets it up in whatever shape that photo grid is. So elements are all your design pieces.
So we got a question, and I think it's a good one to actually answer now.
Yeah.
Jay Sawtell writes, what is the best font for professional business social posts? Al, what do you think is a good business font in your opinion?
I like Oswald. I like Babes Kai.
Yeah.
Anything really strong and bold that stands out. You want to stay away from fonts that have thin lines, because those are good for body, but they're not good for heading.
Yeah.
So for a heading, and I'll type in Babes Kai or Babes New is one. And you can go to defont.com and get a ton of free fonts for free. Just download it. A little folder pops up. Double click on the .otf.
That was the other website that you turned me on to ages ago, was Defont, and I will still go there every now and then. I mostly go to Google Fonts now.
There's there's a bunch out there.
Like web work, but also Google Fonts, if you guys are interested, all the fonts on Google Fonts are free, and that means they're Google friendly. That means they're search engine friendly. That means they're web friendly. So that's something to consider in some of your designs. But that's just something we won't get into because I'd talk about it for too long.
Real quick, I want to throw out a recommendation. If you're on Instagram, follow this account. They give a ton of free advice in carousel posts about fonts, design, reaching audience. It's just a really great resource for creators and designers. They have a lot of good content and suggestions. They'll talk about fonts and headings and things like that.
So this is just kind of like your inside Canva screenshot of the elements that you can input into your design. So say we were making a Facebook story, for instance, you know, these are all the things that could be there. And it's so interesting. Coronavirus is trending apparently in Canva. So pretty interesting. So I'll let Alex talk a little bit about layering. So what we have here is brought up just a template that we transferred over. And Alex is going to talk about, you know, the importance of where your elements are lined up.
So,
Do you want me to stop my share?
yeah.
All right. Share.
Okay. We'll just, since faucets are the thing, get that nice faucet. Okay, so I'm going to add a box. This is just a recently used element or shape. This is just a standard colored box. Click and drag. So if I want this, I don't want this part of the box to appear over my photo. I want it to be behind my photo. I can simply right click, send to back. So now I'm creating a layering system, and this is in the front, this is in the back. If we add in, I don't know, I'm just gonna grab something random. None of this is gonna make sense. This is not my, this is not a design that I would actually do. This is just for the sake of teaching purposes. Okay, and now we have 3 elements. If I wanna change the layering again, I want this to, I don't want it to go to all the way in the back, but I want it to go in between my photo and the gray square. Right click, send backward. That's just going a step back. It's not going all the way to the back. So now I've created, you know, the hierarchy of where these all are layered and their positioning. Ashley?
Awesome. Let me put my video back on. Okay. Going to share again. All right, so grouping is also another really important trick and skill to use in Canva. And that basically, say you got your design on point, you loved your little cloud, and you loved your summer sale on top of it, and you wanted to move it, to manipulate it for, you know, for whatever reason. You can group it together and it'll preserve the sizing dimensions for it. Alex, do you want to talk a little bit about grouping?
Sure.
Cool. Does anyone want to see a demonstration of what a grouped thing would look like? Yeah. Okay. Al, you want to pull one up? I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, grouping elements. Let's just, oh, and here's some in the font real quick section. It has these pre-made arrangements for headers and subtext. So I'll just drag that over. Okay, so actually this is a good place to start. These like template texts are already grouped, and you can tell because this is one element, and then this extra dotted line shows that this is something separate, but they've been grouped together And that's why I'm able to move them collectively. If I want to ungroup them to change the text, you don't have to ungroup them. You can change them, you know, you can just change the text and it can still be grouped. But say I want to move baby Andrew to the bottom of the frame, you just simply click on everything together and that, well, I'm gonna go back because it just did it. You click on anywhere on the frame or on the text, select ungroup up there, or you can right click and hit ungroup. And now click out of it and you can drag. And this works for shapes, photos, any of your elements. You know, I'll grab the doctor. That's a huge doctor. So I'm just going to scale it down by using the corner. And then say I want to group the doctor to this text here. I'm going to click on the text that I want to group. I'm going to hold the shift key. I'm going to click on the doctor. So now it's just selected them both and I can move them, but they're still independent. They're not going to group until I tell them to be stuck officially. I've just selected them. Another way to select more than one element at the same time, if you go over outside of your design, click and drag. Now I've got this, I call it like my net. I'm grabbing all my elements. If I go down there, it's going to grab that. If I want them to be stuck permanently, not just while I move at this regular time, now every time I click on them, I don't have to do the net anymore. So that's grouping elements.
Very.
Does anyone have any questions? Back to you, Ashley.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to share again.
Would anybody be interested in tutorial videos? Like if we did pre-made videos, would you want to see them on YouTube or, yeah, cool.
Oh, cool. All right, cool.
I don't have any recorded, but I will make some.
All right, so these are photo grids. Oh, it looks like we have a question. Please ask. Oh yeah, or just answering yes, awesome, okay. So photo grids are super cool because so for instance, I have a very talented interior design client and her content is amazing. I love working with it because it's such good content and the photos are so styled. They're just great. They're professionally shot. So anyway, I don't want to screw that up in my designs. So I look to something like photo grids, which creates, you know, full page proportions, and I can drag my content into that. Al, do you want to talk about photo grids at all? Or does anyone want to see like a demonstration of how a photo grid would work? Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing, Al, and let you master that.
All right. Just gonna, oh, and by the way, when you hit new page, it just copies your background and brings it down to the bottom. So we're gonna do photo grid, so I'm gonna just click and delete this. All right. So these are the, it's like if you've ever made a collage on Instagram, it's just like that, pretty much. I'll do this one. All you're really doing is selecting your photo, dragging it over, and it'll automatically fill into the spot when you hover over it. If I don't want to stop here, I want to go over here, just hold the drag till you get there. So just dragging, dropping. You can double click and change the orientation of the frame. Or not the orientation, but I guess what's being shown in that block. And then up here, we want to click done. Over here, if I want to show more of her shoulder, just double click, position it, done. It can get a little funky with photo frames if I click and want to replace, or if I wanted to put a main photo or a main element over any of these, it's going to try to replace the photo. But if I don't want to do that, I just want to put another photo over it, I can lock. There's a little lock icon up here. I can lock them in. So now they're all locked in, and I can do that. If I didn't lock them in place, it would try to replace the photo. All right. And I'll just do another, go back to elements. How do I get the circle grid that I had earlier? Or we'll do frames. So frames, these are just, they have like decorative ones, say, anytime you see the sky in green area, this little image, that means you can put a photo in there. Same thing, drag, drop. And there's all kinds of frames. I'm gonna send it back to you, Ash.
Awesome. All right. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about personalizing what you're doing and adding your own content to that. It's super, super easy to do. And then we're going to talk about, you know, how to edit your content so that, again, it's authentic, but it looks good. And then we're just going to throw it to Alex for some editing tips and tricks, because honestly, this girl knows her stuff when it comes to that. So if anyone has any questions or anything specific, again, just drop it in the chat. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna run through this very quickly. This is an example Instagram post I would ideally like to make for my interior design client. There, I just dropped an uploaded image in. Now, this is Alex's favorite filter, the only one that she uses. Solar, right, Al?
Yep.
All right, cool. I got it right. Okay. So, and she's going to talk more about filters later, but I applied this really great filter to the picture. It looks far better. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, I added a frame to it. How neat.
So these, we got a question. Go back, Ashley.
Yeah.
We got a question. What are these gray shapes? These are just colored shapes. Once you drag them over, you can change the color. But if you see it in the panel like that and it's gray, that means it's just a shape. It doesn't do anything special. That's just the color of it. But you can change it.
You can change the colors and the dimensions.
Yeah.
The angle, you can really manipulate it to work for you. So we'll go back. And then this is what I would, you know, this is a simple Instagram post for her, but, you know, it's just her fonts. So that's why it's not my favorite, but anyway. But this is what you could do. And it took a matter of 2 seconds.
Yeah, so I'm
gonna throw it to you, Al. Stop share and read some questions.
okay, so I'm just gonna throw in one of my
Oh
photos.
yeah, Al, someone wants to see how you made a frame too.
Yep. So like Ashley had, she dropped her photo in the middle. And then if I just hit in frames, it'll be, oh, those are those frames. Huh.
I think it was a shape that I used that I traced around.
Okay, so it's under shapes and it's gonna be the one that are hollowed out. These are gonna be solid, but this one, and you can click on the middle of it and drag it over. I don't have to click like on the border of it, which is a little bit different than Photoshop. But yeah, these they move pretty easily. If I want to change the color to black, or this is a cool feature, it'll take the shades from the photo that's on your, so you're going to keep things more closely on brand. That's instead of a harsh black, it's giving me this little.
Yeah, that's a pretty new feature in Canva, and I have to say I love it. It just helps everything stay consistent, especially just aesthetic wise too. Can you make the line skinnier? Yes, you can.
Like the thickness of the line.
Yes, you can.
How do you do that, Ashley? Do you want to instruct?
Actually, I'm gonna request remote control.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm requesting remote control of your screen, Al.
Oh, okay. I will approve that.
All
Don't
right.
do anything weird.
All right. Do I have control?
Oh, wait, I have to go into my system preferences.
That's fine. Just do it.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I gotta. All right. I'm really curious to see this too. This is going to be new for me.
This is easy, Al. This is Canva 101. You should.
Love it.
I am happy to actually show you something. All right.
Cool. Hop to it.
So notice that I'm making the overall shape smaller. You see that? Now the lines are skinnier.
Uh-huh.
Because it has
Oh.
the control, the sizing controls on the exterior of the shape, I can do that. Obviously it needs to be lined up better and I can't see Alex's little screen with my big cursor. But yeah, that's how you would make the line skinnier in this sense.
Take the shape and make it smaller, and then you can extend the sides to get it back to the.
Yep. And then obviously align it to the center and stuff. I thought they said I could use hex codes, but couldn't see where the, oh yeah, hex codes, sure. So let's go over here. And you want to
add your custom color.
Yeah, add a custom color. You can put your codes down here.
So go up to the rainbow icon color and then
put it in.
Your code in there.
Yep. So easy to do. And then you can then save them to your Canva account so that you can easily grab them when you're making designs. And that helps to keep everything on brand. So yeah. Let's
ask quick. So I was taking like a little tutorial on Canva from a coach that I'm working with, and so she said to get ideas for people that are just starting out, you know, coming up with a brand coloring, to go to Pinterest for get ideas. And so there was a bunch of different palettes, but then I thought she said you could see the hex codes there, but maybe not all of them have it. But how would you?
So not all of them have it, but you can find so many color palettes on Pinterest that you'll be able to find one that you like and one that has, you know, the hex codes listed.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident of that. Or if not, there are there are tools you can use to look up a specific document's colors. if you wanted to do that. Alex, do you know of any like quick color pickers? I always use my Mac, so I don't want to like.
I'll use my Photoshop. I'll take like a screenshot of the color wherever I see it, drag it into Photoshop, and then use my eyedropper to identify what color that is. And sometimes it won't, like when I drag the photo into Photoshop, it won't generate the same color that my screen is showing me. It can be finicky, but for the most part it works. But I'm sure I probably do it the long way. It's just how I've been doing it for years. But in this day and age, I'm sure that there's a
Website for
palette
it.
generator out there. Yeah, there's probably a different one than I would use. But yeah, I would just search, color palette generator or something like that and see what pops up.
Yeah, that's the thing is, what's great about things like Canva is it really works with other creative sites that are constantly popping up and creative resources that are constantly coming, being available and there for small businesses to use. It's really good because it just gives you more stuff to use for your business, and it's let's see. Beneficial to the end user. So accessing your designs, just so we stay on time here. It's really easy to, It's really easy to access your designs in Canva. If you've used Canva before, you probably know this. You can simply download them. You can, Alex, do you want to talk about the screenshot method? Or does anyone want to see anything okay, we got a chat.
Sorry, that was me. I just right now found it.
Okay.
.com trending, and if you cursor over, it'll show you the hex code. You don't even have to sign up for anything. It's just right there.
Awesome.
So saving something as a screenshot,
Yeah,
I don't know if that's too far ahead, but should we show it anyway?
Yeah, we can show it. I'll stop my share.
Okay. So that's what I just found. Basically, so I do use Photoshop primarily, but I use Canva to kind of organize my assets, or maybe it's easier to create shapes than it is in Photoshop. Photoshop is like way too specific. So say I just wanted to, I don't need this whole graphic and I'm posting something on Instagram. It's going to be really small and I don't want to go through Canva's resizing. If I just want to grab this and edit it and like Instagram, say, or wherever, I'm just going to do a screenshot on my computer. So if you're on a Mac, Shift Command, the number 4 brings up the crosshair. Click and drag. I just want this element, this part of my design. Screenshot, it's gonna go to my desktop, have some funky name, screenshot, and a million numbers. And there it is, a lot of screenshots. So yeah, I just, instead of downloading it, but if I say I wanted to actually download the whole piece, and now we've got all these different ways, I just go with the suggested. This is cool. So I've got a bunch, these are my pages and they're all numbered up here. You can even like title them. I'm gonna call this faucet. Say I just want to download this page from my Canva board. This is page 2. I'm gonna go to download. I only want page 2. Done. Download. It's going to prepare my design and it's going to go to my downloads folder. Now it says 18 curry dishes. That's because of the template for Pinterest I initially started with, and it already had a name. To change that name, it would be, oh, that's a good question. Right here. So I'm going to call it, I just want the baby photo that I'm going to download. And that was page 2. So now when I download it, it will save it as, you'll see it pop up down here. There it is, baby photo. So that's just real quick. You can download it the real way. Say I just want to take this part of it, my easy hack, screenshot it. Do that. So those are a couple of different ways to get your content off of Canva. And back to you, Ashley.
All right, cool. We got some questions. Let me go back, start video. We got some questions. Can you screenshot on a PC also? Yes.
You can. I don't know the controls off the top of my head. I think might be somewhat of the same, but instead of command, maybe it's control.
There's also a snipping tool to take photos on a PC. If you just search in your, programs for the snippet tool, you'll find it there. And then what is the difference between the free Canva? Yes, the snipping tool. Yep. Free Canva and paid version. Okay, so the paid version, I use it because I am lazy, basically. There are some things that make it super easy for me because I can easily resize an image that I've already made for a client. So let's say we started out with an Instagram post, and then we were going to run an email campaign, a Facebook post, and something on her website. Well, what I could do is easily resize for all of those formats. You can do that in the pro version. Now you can, it's like $13 a month. So for me, it's worth it because it just saves time. But
oh, sorry. Real quick, I was gonna say a reason I don't have a paid account. I used to, but when I did have it, what I really liked about it was that I could upload my own fonts. There's already fonts that are built in, and then there's if you do the pro version, you unlock an extra set of fonts, but beyond that, you can actually put in your own fonts. So say you got this really unique font on defont.com and you wanted to use it in your Canva designs, if a pro account will allow you to upload that font, that OTF file font to Canva.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions about free versus pro? Like I said, it's $13 a month. It's good if you are really just trying to utilize the same content over and over and over again. But if you're making new content every time, you don't need it. We're not trying to sell you on the pro version by any stretch. It doesn't use it anymore. I just, like I said, it's laziness, and I found a feature that I like.
For if you're trying to organize your brand and your branding colors, that's another thing it can do. There's a whole section that's like pretty much like your style guide. I don't have the pro account, so I can't show you, but maybe Ashley, if you wanted to bring that up, you can just save like all your brand colors, all your logo, like it's just its own folder section of Pro Canva that you only get when you pay for it to organize branded materials.
So I'm gonna.
You don't have to go there if you don't want to. Actually, I didn't mean to throw you.
Yeah, no. I'm just having
I don't even know if
sharing moment. It wouldn't let me share it for some reason because I have the two dual monitors. It's crazy. Anyway, so what I can do is I program the colors of my brand, and I program the colors of my clients' brands. So it's just easy for me to grab that because a lot of what I do is replicating the same design principle over and over again because I'm really big on preserving people's branding. throughout their messaging. So that's kind of my approach to that. And then one thing we did want to touch upon is that Canva has an app, y'all. You can get it on your phone. So
What?
yeah, girl. So what's cool about that is like you can start a design on, you know, your desktop, then go to your phone later when you're bored and doing whatever and just play around on it. It's great for social media posts, straight to social media. You can post straight
You
from
don't have to like send it to yourself or airdrop it or anything. It's
yeah,
just
it's
all
that
right on your phone.
and you get to see what it's going to look like, and it's great. So I thoroughly believe in the Canva app. I would say more sophisticated designs, definitely start them in your desktop, but don't be afraid to use the Canva app if there's something that you just took an awesome photo and you can't wait to get it out in the world. Use the Canva app, get it out there. You know, I think that should be your authentic posting strategy anyway. It's like, if you can't live without telling the world about this one aspect of your brand, then post it.
Or hack, go to Instagram, go into Instagram stories, start throwing text over it, take a screenshot on your phone, crop out the time and like the header and the border and all that other junk, keep just the design, and you just used your Instagram stories to make a design basically that you're gonna post somewhere else or whatever. Just a quick, easy hack to get text over a photo or something, or put designs or whatever. Yeah. So there's a million and one tools out there. It's just that they can be used in different ways, and just play with it. And like I said, I use Photoshop, but I use Canva together. So I'll Frankenstein designs together using both elements. If you feel comfortable in like a Microsoft document or Keynote, whatever, use that, and then just play with, you know, the controls of your computer. Use the screenshot to just take out the elements you want and share those.
There we go. Hold on. Some best practices. So we're going to hit you with some best practices to just generally follow when you're using Canva. I'll speak to the, I don't know, I'll speak as I go. So the platform's ideal dimensions. Always, I said this before, but it's always really important to know which dimensions are needed to best display your content on the platform you're posting on. If you're primarily posting on Instagram, get familiar. Understand what Instagram stories should look like. Understand what Instagram posts should look like. Same thing with Facebook. Get familiar with those dimensions and then use that when you start your design. That's the basis of your design, is picking that dimension. And then I'm just going to go down a step and say utilize a template, and then customize that template to meet your brand's needs. I always save my work compulsively because I'm a nut. So definitely you want to always save your work because it is browser based and sometimes browsers don't behave. So just save.
Download it, screenshot it.
Yeah, do whatever you can to, you know, throughout to keep your designs kind of looking on point and saved. And download quality options. So if you know, I know a lot of people like to make logos on Canva, and that's fabulous. Just a quick tool. Or if you're making any sort of thing that requires a transparent background, you can make a background transparent on Canva for a logo. So it is very, it's definitely worth it to click transparency when you're doing that. So if anyone wants to see that, we can do that in the Q&A section, which we're gonna get to in 2 minutes.
We got a Hootsuite question, Ashley. This is right up your alley. What about social media platforms such as Hootsuite that resizes automatically? Do you recommend redoing designs for specific channels, or is it okay to let social platforms do it?
It depends. It's, this is a strategy question, I think. Are you posting things organically, or are you using Hootsuite to post for you? Are you paying for Hootsuite to post for you so that you don't have to design all of the ads for yourself? So I guess I would be curious to know how you're already using Hootsuite, and then figure out if you can make some organic content as well. There's no reason you can't do both. But let me see for some reason I can't see the exact question. Popped up and it went away. Okay, let's see. Where is the chat? Okay, here we go. Beautiful. All right. And last best practice I just want to touch upon is definitely like do what you can to preserve your branding. I think that's just my marketing brain telling me, tell all of you, no matter what you do, keep it authentic, but keep it on point with your brand. Al, do you have any best practices that you want to speak to?
I mean, it's all depending on what your goal is. Always define what your goal is before a design, before a paid ad. Figure out what you're really trying to do. Like really like pinpoint what you want your message to be, what you want to convey, and start from there. Just start, go onto Pinterest and get inspiration. Go onto YouTube and see if somebody had to go through the same design process that you're about to go through, and just watch their journey through it all. I'm constantly on YouTube watching tutorials, and I follow a handful of designers and creators on Instagram, and they're constantly putting out great material, teaching guides, app suggestions, or how to find color palettes and fonts. So it's all out there, and someone's gone through it before. I just try to see if what I'm about to do in my design or my message, if someone went through the same kind of like, okay, this is how I reached that person. This is what I did to get there. So draw inspiration from others is a really helpful tool in getting you to where you want to go. Get inspired.
Yeah, Pinterest is literally the best place to go for inspiration. So many designers post their own stuff on there too. So it really is totally worth it.
If anyone's interested, Ashley can do a follow-up email, and I can plug in some of the creators that are really helpful on Instagram right now that I follow. They're constantly pushing out daily content, teaching people how to do simple things, whether it's a design thing or just advice. So I could put that in there.
Yeah, we could totally do that. Well, you guys are certainly welcome. Does anyone have any specific questions that we didn't touch, or suggestions for an actual more hands-on tutorial in the future?
Yeah, if you guys have video tutorials,
let us know what you're into and what you need. And we'd love to have, the group together again to do it. Yes, YouTube? Okay, cool.
Honestly, yeah, just shoot us an email and you can be as specific as possible. If you want to see a video on something that we went over today, it can be just about text, just about wireframes. Yeah, feel free to let us know and we can produce that for you.
To my knowledge, Florence, all Canva content is pretty static. Yeah, so we'll put our emails up, but this is how to get in touch. These are both of our websites. If you want to take them down, our contact information is there. But also I'm going to put in our to everyone Alex's email address and my email address. So
I'm just gonna drop it in here too if you wanna say hello.
Do you mind if I ask a question really quick?
not at all, not at all.
Awesome. I apologize for the noob nature of it because I am absolutely brand new at this, but you know, I do like design and I've worked with Word and PowerPoint, so I get some of the controls and stuff, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm, as an educator though, it's like ingrained in us to watch out for copyright and to like cite things and what kind of things like that, because I want things to be custom to me, and you know, or if anyone used my image, I'd be pretty pissed without them asking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have questions related to that if you don't mind touching on it.
No, we can definitely touch upon that. So if it's on Canva, it's royalty free via use of Canva. So that's just to touch upon that.
Yeah, I figured that. So that's good.
Yeah.
Using anything in there is probably totally okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then if you put your own stuff on there, then you probably want to put a watermark over it or something if you're if it's that sensitive, or you're selling it for a larger size or something like that.
A lot of times you'll see in very small light white font, like on Instagram for instance, it'll be just their handle and it'll be somewhere in the middle of the design, and that's to ensure that nobody is going to reuse it, because if they do try to reuse it, they'll have to edit that out in a very, it's not like you can just crop it out, it's like in the middle of the frame.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So
okay, now I know what it
you
is.
get creative with it too. You don't, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a stamped ugly watermark. Like make it cute, make it a signature, make it your name or something. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and I just typed in right there, this is something Ashley and I used called unsplash.com.
Yeah,
and
it's best free stock photos.
Yeah, and you can give a shout out to the photographer just to give them credit, but it is all royalty free.
You can even post stuff on there too. If you were an amateur photographer and you had some stuff that you loved, you could post it on there. It is also considered a social network in its own sense, but it's crowdsourcing. Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? Or if you want, you know, feel free to email us. I think you guys have our emails now. And if you don't, find us on Facebook or, you know, through the Zoom invite. And you know, really, if there's something that you want to learn from, you know, amateur graphic design from Canva to, you know, getting a design actually on a social platform, let us know. We'll help you get there. Alex, a little more about Alex. She's also a skilled videographer. So that's really, if you have any questions about YouTube and YouTube videos, making your
podcasting.
And podcasting.
I've been producing a Boston-based podcast from here in San Diego. So that's another thing. If you work with anyone and they're in a different area of the world, like it's totally possible. You can do great things collaborating with people like wherever you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out. So the podcast is called Old Dirty Boston. If you're interested in stories about the city, true stories. It's like crime type of stuff, a little gritty, but interesting if you're into that crime podcast stuff. And then if you just want to follow either Ashley or I, my Instagram is @AlexMontone, so just my name. And I post, lately I've been posting a lot of drone footage, but I'll post designs, and you might actually start seeing me posting more informational content about how I do what I do.
Yeah, and my Instagram's whack, so I'm not going to tell you it. No, I'm just kidding. It's just @PR_by_AC. And I post mostly plant pictures, pictures of things I buy on Amazon. So, you know, there's an inspirational quote every now and then. So
yeah, your inspirational content is on point.
It's real. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your time. We really appreciate it. don't hesitate to reach out. Like I said
Yeah.
at the beginning, we're geeks and we love helping people. So peace out. Thank you for your time. Everybody enjoy your Saturday. Stay safe.
Happy Saturday. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.